The yoga we practice is not for ourselves alone, but for the divine. Its aim is to work out the will of the divine in the world, to effect a spiritual transformation, and to bring down a divine nature and a divine life into the mental, vital, and physical nature and life of humanity. Its object is not personal mukti, although mukti is a necessary condition of the yoga, but the liberation and transformation of the human being. It is not personal Ananda, but the bringing down of the divine Ananda, Christ's kingdom of heaven, our Satya Yuga, upon the earth. Of moksha, we have no personal need, for the soul is nitya mukta, and bondage is an illusion. We play at being bound. We are not really bound. We can be free when God wills, for He, our Supreme Self, is the master of the game, and without His grace and permission, no soul can leave the game. It is often God's will in us to take through the mind the boga of ignorance, of the dualities of joy and grief, of pleasure and pain, of virtue and sin, of enjoyment and renunciation. For long ages in many countries, he never even thinks of the yoga, but plays out this play century after century without wearying of it. There is nothing evil in this, nothing which we need condemn or from which we need shrink. It is God's play. The wise man is he who recognizes this truth and, knowing his freedom, yet plays out God's play, waiting for His command to change the methods of the game. The command is now. God always keeps for Himself a chosen country in which the higher knowledge is through all chances and dangers, by the few or the many, continually preserved. And for the present, in this Chatur Yuga at least, that country is India. Whenever He chooses to take the full pleasure of ignorance, of the dualities, of strife and wrath and tears and weakness and selfishness, the tamasic and rajasic pleasures of the play of the Kali, in short, He dims the knowledge in India and puts her down into weakness and degradation, so that she may retire into herself and not interfere with this movement of His Leela. When He wants to rise up from the mud and Narayana in man to become once again mighty and wise and blissful, then He once more pours out the knowledge on India and raises her up so that she may give the knowledge with its necessary consequences of might, wisdom, and bliss to the whole world. When there is the contracted movement of knowledge, the yogins in India withdraw from the world and practice yoga for their own liberation and delight, or for the liberation of a few disciples. But when the movement of knowledge again expands, and the soul of India expands with it, they come forth once more and work in the world and for the world. Yogins like Janaka, Ajatashatru, and Kartavirya once more sit on the thrones of the world and govern the nations. God's Lila in man moves always in a circle, from Satya Yuga to Kali, and through Kali to the Satya, from the age of gold to the age of iron, and back again, through the iron to the gold. In modern language, the Satya Yuga is a period of the world in which a harmony, stable and sufficient, is created, and man realizes for a time, under certain conditions and limitations, the perfection of his being. The harmony exists in its nature by the force of a settled purity, but afterwards it begins to break down, and man upholds it in the treta by force of will, individual and collective. It breaks down further, and he attempts to uphold it in the Dwapara by intellectual regulation and common consent and rule. Then in the Kali, it finally collapses and is destroyed. But the Kali is not merely evil. In it, the necessary conditions are progressively built up for a new Satya, another harmony, a more advanced perfection. In the period of the Kali which has passed, still endures in its effects, but is now at an end, there has been a general destruction of the ancient knowledge and culture. Only a few fragments remain to us in the Vedas, Upanishads, and other sacred works, and in the world's confused traditions. But the time is at hand for a first movement upward, the first attempt to build up a new harmony and perfection. That is the reason why so many ideas are abroad for the perfection of human society, knowledge, religion, and morals. But the true harmony has not yet been found. It is only India that can discover the harmony, because it is only by a change, not a mere readjustment, of man's present nature that it can be developed, and such a change is not possible except by yoga.